Good evening. The February 28th, 2024 council meeting of the Long Branch City Council will now come to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Vieira,
I'm here.
Dr. Vogt,
Here.
Mrs. Sally, Mrs. Wittes, I apologize.
Here.
Dr. Sally is absent. Mr. Dangler.
Here. Please
I hear.
stand. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no.
Please stand for pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Long Branch Mayor, City Council, Administration are committed to cultivating an environment of mutual trust and respect that values the diversity of our community. We will strive to enhance the quality of life for all who live here by making Long Branch a desirable place in which to live and prosper. We will treat every member of the public with respect and expect the same in return. Madam Clerk.
I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you. There will be no Black History presentation this month. Unfortunately, several of the students that were going to be a part of the presentation are sick, so we certainly hope that they get well soon, and we will have the presentation at a later date during the year. Thank you. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the February 14th meeting.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Vieira.
Yes.
Dr. Vogt.
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes.
Yes.
Dr. Sally is absent. Mr. Dangler.
Yes. Consideration of ordinance, public hearing and final consideration. Ordinance 06-24, an ordinance designating no parking anytime east side of Westwood Avenue, starting at the northeast corner apex of Westwood Avenue and Willow Avenue, ending at 191 north thereof. This ordinance was introduced on February 14th and prohibits parking at all times east side of Westwood Avenue, starting at the northeast corners, apex of Westwood and Willow Avenues, and ending at 191 north. I need a motion to open a public hearing on this ordinance only.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. I'm sorry. If there are any members of the public that has a comment to make on this ordinance only, please come to the podium, state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once on this ordinance 06-24. I need a motion to close.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. This is the second reading of ordinance 06-24. I need a motion to adopt the second and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Vieira.
Yes.
Dr. Vogt.
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes.
Yes.
Dr. Sally is absent. Mr. Dangler.
Yes. Public portion and resolution and excuse me, I skipped one. Ordinance for introduction, we have none. Public portion for resolution and all general comments. I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? If there are any members of the audience that has a comment to make, may step to the podium and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
My name is Bernadine Brownridge. I live at 573 Burdan Place, and I've lived there for 47 years. I'm hoping that I can make a comment about the Branchport crossing. And I'd just like to state that I'd like to advocate for the wetlands, the birds that live on the Branchport Creek, and I am concerned about overdevelopment of the wetlands within 100 feet of a body of flowing water. I know that the area is in disrepair and that revitalization is necessary, but I'm also concerned just about the entire overdevelopment of that particular site, in addition to access to Burdan Place, which has never been allowed in the past. We fought when Casa Comida was on the property, exits onto our street, and I just want to make that a public statement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She wants to make sure they don't develop into the wetlands for Bridgeport Crossing.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch, requesting 1-minute notification. So the city breaks it today about a pier. Where was the transparency in that design? Over the last 10 years plus, multiple federal grants and city expenditures totaling in excess of $12.5 million, all involving pay-to-play professionals, that being planning, legal, engineering fees, etc., that already have been spent on all prior fantasy pier dreams. That $12.5 million plus exceeds the $3.3 million grant. The city's history is not good. Not good at all. There were alternatives to this. Building several shaded bump-out viewing and sitting areas along the boardwalk might have been a suggested option. Not to mention, it would have been nice to have used the $3.3 million to pay down the local taxpayer contribution to the new boardwalk. Bottom line, $3.3 million. If that's what it's going to cost, I may remind you, Ocean Grove paid $1.4 million for their pier. It's too small a project in Long Branch for $1 billion beachfront. No transparency. Mr. Dangler, has council filed any criminal charges? We're in the process of working with the county prosecutor's office to do so on the animal abuse fatality of an 11-month-old dog on Lafayette Avenue.
Council has no authority to file criminal charges against anybody. That I would refer you to the police department.
Is council working with the prosecutor's office on this matter?
Council doesn't work with the prosecutor's office on criminal matters. Those matters all work through the city police department. I suggest that you contact the police department.
And the council doesn't talk to the police department?
The council does not interfere in the police department's duties, and the council has no authority to interfere with their duties as sworn law enforcement officers.
That's ridiculous.
No, it's the law.
No, you're wrong.
You might find it ridiculous.
Well, you're wrong.
Well.
Mr. Dangler, why hasn't the SPCA contract been rendered null and void on the dog fatality? Criminal negligence by the SPCA that led to the dog fatality, an 11-month-old dog.
I'm not aware that anybody has been charged with any criminal offense as a result of that, so I'm not sure how you can deem it to be criminal. And I would suggest to you that you might be careful about it in a public forum, referring to accusing people of a crime that they haven't been charged with.
No, I'll say what I'm going to say, Mr. Rainone. You're apparently doing a dance on this without hitting it straight on, as usual. It's amazing, Mr. Rainone, with the former police chief and director of this city, Jason Roebuck, how with all his violations of procedures and policies, and he allowed his subordinates in the police department breaking policies and procedures, how he was allowed a separation agreement with the city. He was allowed to separate from this city with a huge separation payment. Where was the council and the mayor to fire him? while he was in employment for all those violations, Mr. Raynon.
I actually believe that all of those claims by you have been rejected in the lawsuit that you filed, so.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Maybe you should.
And I would I would suggest you not mention that right now on the public forum, Mr.
Why?
Raynon.
It's a public
You will be
record.
held liable for it.
You go right ahead.
You will be, oh, I will, I will, I've already done it.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Mr. Pallone, you were spineless with Jason Roebuck. You failed to take action. You and this council. You danced for 2 years in your administration until the point came where you gave Mr. Roebuck a huge payout for violating policies and procedures. Spineless. Madam Clerk, how much time do I have?
42 seconds.
42 seconds. Mr. Martin, at the last council meeting, I asked you if you had contacted Charles Kushner involving the Pier Village audits. You stated you didn't have his phone number. In the last 2 weeks, Mr. Martin, have you and the city been able to find the phone number for Charles Kushner?
Not directly, though.
Oh, so you had 2 weeks. The city had 2 weeks to find the phone number for Charles Kushner, and you can't find it.
5 minutes is up.
We have riots, we have civil unrest in Pier Village, but nobody knows how to get a hold of Charles Kushner, particularly on the audits. And you wonder why people view this dais as junk government.
Thank you. Anyone else? I need a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Madam Clerk, were there any changes of the list of resolutions?
No changes have been made.
We could take the list of resolutions as a consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Viera,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly is absent, Mr. Dangler.
Yes. Applications, I need a motion to approve the transfer of the following taxi medallions as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Viera,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly is absent, Mr. Dangler.
Yes. Miscellaneous business for the good of the order. Councilman Vieira.
Yes, good evening. Thanks for coming out tonight. I just want to get a big shout out to the Public Works for the snows that we had and the keeping everything clean. And our Public Safety Director for our Fire Department, our Police Department, they're keeping us safe and doing a nice job out there. Thank you and good night.
Councilwoman Vogt.
Thank you, Council President. Just want to say I'm glad to be able to come back in person, and that I appreciated your comment about environmental concerns. So thank you for coming out tonight, and look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Councilwoman Wittes.
I'd like to also thank everyone for coming out this evening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Mayor Pallone.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. We announced today that the city will be building a fully ADA accessible fishing and pedestrian pier with a $3.25 million grant it recently received from the State Boardwalk Preservation Fund. Governor Murphy announced the award last Friday. Many of you know this will allow Long Branch to achieve a long-time goal to bring back a fishing and pedestrian pier where it stood for over 100 years perpendicular to the city's boardwalk. I want to thank Governor Murphy and the Department of Consumer Affairs for this grant. For many, when we think of historic Long Branch, we think of the pier. We're grateful for this funding, and we're happy to bring another amenity to Long Branch for our residents and visitors to enjoy. The pier is currently in a conceptual stage. However, it will be about 500 feet long and run along the right-of-way that exists next to the Laird Street beach. The project will start in the year 2025, and we'll release more information in the coming months. I also wanted to mention that our Hometown Heroes banner program, which has been very popular, is up and running. Banners honor U.S. military veterans who either presently reside in Long Branch or formerly lived here, displaying the veteran's picture, name, military branch, dates of service. You've all probably seen it for the last couple of years on the boardwalk. I want to thank Councilwoman Rose Wittes for coming up with this idea and pursuing it. Like I said, it's been very popular. Please contact the mayor's office for more information. That's at 732-571-5640, or visit our website, longbranch.org. And finally, I want to mention that we're going to have a special preview of the new Long Branch Fire and History Museum on March 9th. That's not this Saturday, but the following Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m. That's at 46 Atlantic Avenue and Ocean Boulevard. If you've gone by in the last several months, you'll see that there's a red firehouse there, and that's where it is. We're very proud and happy of that. All are invited. We'll have free refreshments, and we'll be displaying some artifacts from our rich fire department history, such as a one-of-a-kind 1880 Babcock chemical engine, which we're told is one of less than a handful nationwide, and an 1890 hose wagon. So if you are available, again, that's next Saturday at the corner of Ocean and Atlantic Avenue from 3 to 5 p.m. I'm sorry, not this Saturday, the following Saturday, March 9th. Thank you, and all have a great week.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to, a few weeks ago, had to call the police department for emergency purposes and EMS, and I wanted to just thank them for their professionalism in handling my mom. They did a very, very nice job in the wee hours of the morning. And again, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the TLC that you showed. Thank you very much, and thank you for coming out. Get home safe. God bless you.
Motion to close.
Need a motion to close?
Motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
Good night.